Hello, and welcome to True News JA. Up first in the news. Armed men dressed as police and soldier rob Western Union in Linstead, St. Catherine. CCTV surveillance footage captured a robbery of a Western Union located inside the Dixon Pharmacy in Linstead, St. Catherine, by 4 masked gunmen dressed as police officers and soldiers. In the video, 2 of the robbers are spotted wearing the Jamaica Defense Forces JDF camouflage uniform, while the other 2 wore the Jamaica Constabulary Forces JCF bulletproof vest and jeans pants. The minute-long robbery started with a woman at the counter inside the store seemingly conducting a transaction. However, soon after, one of the burglars shoved a man further inside onto the ground. Both hostages lay face down as one of the men snatched the woman's purse from her hand. While the 2 men dressed as soldiers stashed a handful of money from the counter and placed some in a white garbage bag in their pockets, the other 2 dressed as police officers were seemingly stationed at the entrance to keep guard. Even after the men exited the store, money was thrown on the ground which came from the direction of the Western Union teller's counter. Based on the timestamp on the surveillance footage, the incident occurred at approximately 3:35 p.m. and ended at 3:36 p.m. on Saturday, November 25th. All 4 men escaped in a white motor vehicle that was parked on the outside. There is now a development coming out of St. Andrew. Man shot dead in Golden Springs, St. Andrew. Police are now on the scene of the murder of a man in Golden Springs Street, Andrew. Residents so far identified the man as Kyojo, a resident of the area. Preliminary reports suggest that about 11 a.m., the man was shot dead by a gunman on the main road. A crashed car was also seen on a wrecker. Police teams from Lawrence Tavern and Constant Spring are among those on location. Councillor for the Papine Division, Vanessa Phillips, who had resigned from the opposition People's National Party PNP following the 2020 election defeat, has crossed over to the ruling Jamaica Labour Party JLP. Phillips made her first appearance as a Labourite a short while ago at the 80th JLP annual conference currently being held at the National Arena in Kingston. Prior to this, she had experienced long-standing disagreements with the PNP and frequently expressed her criticisms of the party on social media.
These two men was once a part of another set of people. They couldn't find favor. We welcome them to the 80th conference of our great Jamaica Labour Party. Vote for Labour. Grab your neighbor, vote for Labour. Remember, I tell you, something else was going to happen. I want now to welcome to the stage of our 80th annual conference another soul that was lost and has decided to join the ranks of the Jamaica Labour Party. Grab your neighbor, vote for Labour. Councillor Venetia Phillips.
Journey entered my contemplation some 2.5 years ago as colleagues and members of the leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party had started to engage me about what they considered to be, my continued contribution to the country. Of course, at the time, I had no interest because for me, it could not be a rebound. It could not be a knee-jerk reaction because I was going independent. It had to be something that I was convinced of that would go basically to the very fundamental belief I have shared as someone who has been in the PNP from I was born. And so for me, I had to then look at why I was a comrade to begin with. Why was I a member of the People's National Party? And then I had to look at where I am now in that context and whether or not the cause to which I was committed still existed. I kept coming up with the same answer: no. I'm sure you can agree with me that the PNP of old does not exist today, and there's no sign of it returning, unfortunately. And so even as I thought about it, I found something strange. It was not an agonizing process, and that bothered me. because then it said to me that something had been fundamentally wrong. And so even
And what have you identified as that fundamental thing that has gone wrong with the PNP?
Well, I believe that the minute you shift from your core principles, the minute you abandon who you truly are or how you came about, then that goes to your soul. It goes to your root. And once you are killing the root, then you're actually killing the tree. And so that is what has happened to the People's National Party. And with the ascendancy of the Mark Golding factor, you know, you saw an almost complete erosion. One can only pray, because Jamaica does need a viable opposition. So one can only pray that at some point, you know, some semblance of stability will return to a movement that has existed for over 84 years. But certainly from where I see it, having looked at it every side possible, I did not see the PNP as the vehicle that is truly now in a place where it is considering Jamaica first, Jamaica second, Jamaica third. I then had to evaluate what was happening in the JLP. A common term you hear from comrades all the time, Andrew Holness is using the PNP's Michael Manley's playbook. And that made me stop to think, because I used to repeat it too. And if I, as someone who has been a believer of the principles of Michael Manley, and I agree with those who say that we see so much of what he would applaud today, then certainly it shouldn't come as a surprise that I was taking interest in the programs and the principles and direction of the Jamaica Labour Party under Andrew Holness. And so it made my decision that much more easier. But 1 month ago, I sat down seriously after having a conversation with a senior member of the Jamaica Labour Party. And I said to him, you know, something just hit me, that every time I raise my fist and say, land of my birth, I pledge to be loyal and faithful, true to thee, which is part of the PNP's anthem. I was saying, Jamaica, I pledge to you, right, to be loyal and faithful. So it never said land of my party. It said land of my birth. And so for that, I believe I owe a duty to country, to go where I believe the best interest of the country lies and is being served. I'm about a better Jamaica. Andrew Holness understands that. He has the passion for a better Jamaica. I want to be a part of that prosperous and progressive team that will see Jamaica to realize true prosperity and dignity for our people. So that is the underpinning of my decision. And I am committed to ensuring that I give my services by going into the byways and edges to help to build an organization that Jamaicans can truly come to love and trust as the organization of the people of Jamaica.
Should we expect you to contest the Papine division on behalf of the Labour Party?
No, I've already indicated that I do not hold that interest at this time. Certainly, I will assist on the ground because I believe in the cause, and I would like to be able to see Papine division go to the Jamaica Labour Party, and it will. I assure you it will. The reality is that the consciousness of the people are awakened to the fact that progress is here and prosperity awaits them, and they too will be on board. Some of them have already indicated to me that, you know, Councillor, we are with you. And so I say to them, no, don't be with me. Be with yourselves and the country. Look at it for yourself. Understand what is before you and who is serving you and the interests of Jamaica. I think they're seeing that, and their actions will follow an election.